Well, it's been a few days since our early September snowstorm, and today it's finally supposed to kind of warm up again, and the lows in the evenings are going to be back into the 50s. So I think it's safe to take the tarp off of this garden enclosure. First thing I got to do is drain all the water off of it because it sags and puddles in between, and I got to get all that out before I can pull it off. So hopefully I don't get too wet doing this. Well, it's plenty wet inside, that's for sure. So far, it does not want to come off of here. I just know I'm going to give this thing one good tug and it's going to come off, and I'm going to be in the mud back here. Success! And I'm not soaked. Some of this stuff outside didn't fare real well, but if you get down a little bit closer to the ground, it's still alive. There's still green tomatoes. It'll probably be able to ripen. I think the zucchini's still alive there. That squash is a little bit flat, but the leaves did not freeze. Those nice big squash are in under this box, and all that looks okay. All in all, I would say we got away with it. Things are looking pretty darn good. So all that hard work trying to protect the garden seems to have paid off. I don't think we're going to lose any plants. We're going to lose a little bit of growth on some of the plants. But since we should have above freezing weather now for another 6 weeks or so, we should still have some squash and some tomatoes, some zucchinis, things like that we're still going to be able to harvest. So I think it was worth the effort. And all that hard work trying to get that tarp off has really warmed me up. Between that and the sun coming out anyways. So it's going to be a glorious day today. A little bit muddy and mucky, but it's worth being a little muddy and mucky to know that the fire danger is at least reduced a little bit for the time being. With all of our leaves still on the trees, that heavy wet snowstorm the other day was a real limb breaker, and now I've got a little bit of cleanup to do. This box elder behind me is kind of a tragic loss. It was starting to be a really nice tree, provided nice shade for the driveway, and was going to shade the house eventually. But now I got to cut the top off and hope that we can salvage the bottom part and that it will come back. I don't know if it will or not, but I got to clean it up a little bit this morning and see what we end up with. Well, that was a lot easier to cut than I thought it was going to be. It was mostly broken off, and I just had to clean up the splintered ends a little bit. And hopefully this will grow back into some sort of a tree. It's got an awful lot of root system and a nice big trunk, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens next year. But there were trees broken like this all over the Beulah Valley. There were roads closed for about a half a day, while highway crews and county road crews took care of clearing limbs that had fallen across the roads. I bought this Milwaukee 18-volt electric chainsaw months ago. It was probably in the spring. There might have still been snow on the ground. Thinking about making life a little easier as we did some fire mitigation, so you didn't always have to go grab a big heavy gas-powered saw for quick little cuts. And I meant to do a full review on this with the whole unboxing thing and all that stuff, and I never got around to it, and it has been sitting in the basement in the box waiting to do that video, and I haven't used it yet. So today I finally decided I'm never going to do that video, but I am going to give it a little test run. I'll give you some thoughts on it when I'm done, but it's not hardly going to be a whole review and a real good test, but maybe in a few months after I've used it some, I'll know a little bit better about what it's capable of. Well, so far I'm pretty impressed with that. It's a lot lighter, a lot easier to manage than the heavier gas-powered saws. Seems to have plenty of power, and with that little bit of cutting, the battery is still showing full. So I'm guessing I could probably do close to an hour's worth of work before I have to worry about it too much. And an hour's worth of chainsawing leaves about 2 hours worth of collecting all the debris and putting it away, and that's plenty of time for the battery to charge again. So my first little use of it, I'm pretty impressed. We'll see what I think about it 6 months from now, a year from now, and I think this fall we're going to do some more fire mitigation. The fires in California have really given us a wake-up call. I think we're going to cut stuff back even further. Hate seeing the trees go, but I'd hate seeing the house go even worse. Well, it looks like it filled our tanks for us, so we've got about 4,500 gallons of water on hand right now, and the way we use water, we're very water conscious, so we don't use a lot of water, so this is probably 4 months worth of water if we're careful, and hopefully it will snow again between now and 4 months from now. But that also means the other tanks up by the corner of the house that we use for outdoor watering and the one up by the shop that we use for watering the little greenhouse probably picked up 200 or 300 gallons each, so all in all, this is a pretty good storm as far as water goes. Well, that's just a brief look at what we get to deal with after a freak early September snowstorm. But we are really glad to have the snow, really glad to have the moisture, so we'll take it. I really hope the people on the West Coast can get some of this, because California, Oregon, and Washington are in so much worse conditions than we are. So if you live out there, be careful, be fire-wise, take care of yourself, and hopefully wet weather is coming your way as well. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.